I'm going to take a look at 6-5, but in this case it's not really like your 6-6. 6-6 is just like prior ones. It's almost like number one that I did. It's just a little bigger numbers, and so this one's more like 6-8, and it may be the only one that kind of gets us close to that. And so we'll take a look and say, hey, this is like 6-8. And what we have is, again, a list of the number of calls that come in, the frequency. What it's adding here is just requiring us to then calculate the probability. Okay, if we know that this is the frequency and we've got a total frequency, this is simply the sum of, right, those numbers, right? So the frequency that these happen in 50 days, we were looking at this over a 50-day period. Okay, 8 days we had 0 calls, 10 days we had 1 call, 22 days we had 2 calls. So now we just have to calculate what the probability. And the probability in this case is just the frequency divided by the total. Okay, so simply equal to my frequency divided by my total, which I'll use my F4. Okay, so now I have the probability, right? Okay, and now calculating everything else is just like we've done before. We kind of have an extra column in here that we got to negotiate. By the way, I do a total here just to always make sure that my probability equals 1 in these types of problems. Okay, and so now I just have to take my probability times my number of calls in this case, so I can determine my mean, which again is just basically like we have done, and we simply carry that down. Boom, we get a total here. Boom. Okay, then we subtract our number of calls from, or I'm sorry, subtract our mean from the number of calls, but again, you could do it the other way and it wouldn't really matter. This one minus this one with my F4. I know this is a bit of a review, but we'll just go through it quickly. Okay, square that. This to the second power. Total. Apply my probability again, so my probability, which is here, times my result here. Boom, carry that down. Okay, the other step that we have to do, we get a sum here now of this, and that does give us a variance, right? Okay, and in this problem, the two things that we had to do that are a little different is we had to calculate the probability, and now we have a variance, but it asked us to take it one step further and do the standard deviation. Standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. Okay, and there's two ways we can do that. We can say that this is equal to this one, use my little tent thing, but then I got to use some parentheses to the, call it the 1/2 power. Okay. To me, that's kind of a shortcut, but there is also a formula then, and it's up here. I think it's under statistical. Might be under just math. All right, so we'll just check and see if we got square root under here. Nope, I don't. So I might have to go to math and trig. Square root, okay, what's my number? I just click on this one, which was my variance, and it gives me the exact same number I got the other way. So again, this is like 6-8.